Hello, welcome students to class 2 of our course, Curriculum Studies in Science Education. This class we look more closely at some of the tensions around the purposes of science. We look at purposes of science in general and some of the tensions around it. And also start or continue to examine the relationship between society and science curriculum. As part of it, we look at particular ideas and suggestions how to shape science curriculum, and we also learn about the influence of neoliberalism on science in general, but we focus on science education. And accordingly, the two themes are one is tensions regarding science education, and the other one is neoliberalism and science education. We have two readings, one from 2001 and one from 2011. You see now that we move in to more recent publications. And some notes on the readings. You will see that the link between curriculum and teaching is in the text. You will see that the notion or ideas about the nature of science and ideas about societal changes are in the readings. And again, as I mentioned in the beginning of the course, those some of the recurring issues that appear and reappear in different classes. One central notion this week in one of the readings is neoliberalism, and I want to talk about this notion and to explain how it's different from liberalism. So, unlike liberalism or classic liberalism that professes and based on individual freedom, at least within some ethical boundaries, in neoliberalism, individuals and organizations are not really free to act for their own interests and their own gain. Rather, in neoliberalism, the state has a much central role. Neoliberalism as political and economic ideology seeks the state's active support in particular policies that create competitive entrepreneurs, and as a result, individuals and organizations are forced to play a game with rules that already benefit particular part of the society, markets and capital, making money, revenues. In neoliberalism, faith in the market process is valued over some commitment to social outcomes. Neoliberal ideology is advocated usually by conservative and mostly right-wing political powers that support a lesser governmental involvement in favor of a laissez-faire economic system and free market capitalism that allow extended freedom of individuals, but again, a particular kind of freedom that support the capital. Neoliberal ideology contends that such economic system results in greater financial capital to individuals and to society as a whole, which is a contestable, at least, argument. In a neoliberal view, as you will read, science is seen as isolated from society, and that reflects also in science education. And one of the notions that goes with it is outcomes-based education. Um, so we have a Smith that talks about neoliberalism and give critique of neoliberal influence on science education. Although the documents analyzed in this paper from Australia and the state of Victoria, there it's still relevant and generalizable for I believe for um, the Western, the capital West in general. Wellington, the other paper, offers a framework for aims of science education. So the two questions that you have are the first one regarding tensions is about where do you stand in this tension between science curriculum that advocates science for all and aims at developing scientifically literate citizens, this on the one hand, and science curriculum that focuses on academic minority and aims at this preparing minority for science-based careers. Perhaps you think that this distinction that I'm doing is problematic by itself. Please consider in your answer some of the pressures, perspectives, stakeholders, or vested interests shaping school science education as Wellington discusses them. The other question regarding neoliberalism. So following Smith's analysis, how do you understand how neoliberalism impacts science education? And assuming neoliberalism is here to stay, and it's a prevalent political economic ideology, do you think there is any way to avoid the impact of neoliberalism on science education? And if you happen to be familiar with the Canadian or the particular Ontarian context, what do you think the situation in this regard there? That's it. I hope you enjoy the readings and the discussion this week, which you will work in small groups from now on. Bye bye.